In this video, I will show you how to create an indoor lighting using Unity 6. So I use Unity 6.0. This is a first preview, so it's a stable version of Unity. And I am using, of course, HDRP to have a high resolution render pipeline. So here I created a new scene. Perhaps I will redo it with you, new scene. And I choose a basic outdoor because I want some light from the window. Okay, that's why I use an outdoor system. So I have my scene. Be sure you have that main camera, sun, moon, sky and fog. If you don't have that, it means you don't work with a good version of Unity. So the moon, I don't need it. Okay, I will keep only the sun. And now I will import something that I prepared. Actually, it's an asset that I found on internet, but I had to do most of the UVs. So this is this attic. So I will move it here. And this attic is actually the same room that one of the hero of Ready Player One, the movie of Spielberg. So if you watch the movie, you should recognize this room. Okay, so here, of course, what we have by default is not realistic. So first we have a sun. I will reorient it properly. So if I go here, I can see a sky, I can see a sun, and this sun, I will turn it, okay, to illuminate my room. So what I will do, I will click here on the gizmo to display the gizmo, and here I can select the sun. Of course, this is a directional light, huh? So you can move it, it will not do anything. And I'm going to adjust this sun to have a nice shadow inside. So, as we can see, the quality of the lighting is really not good by default. So first, what I will do, I will go to the sun. In the inspector, I open the light parameter and I will go to shadow and change the resolution from low resolution to ultra resolution. So here we have something much better. Okay, so we can see that the shadow is a bit blurred. So I will zoom here. Okay, first quality is not very good and shadow is blurred. So what I'm going to do, first I will go in the sky and fog volume. And here there is something I will do to increase the quality of the shadows of my scene. You have really to understand we are doing real time here. So there are a lot of tricks that we must use to make it good quality in real time. And one trick is that I go to the sky and fog volume and I will add an override, and here I will use shadow. Okay, and here shadow, we have a max distance. So what's happening is calculating the shadow by default to a distance of 500. Okay, so he has memory. In memory, he has some space to calculate all this shadow and stock this shadow. And here he stocks shadow at a distance of 500 meter. And it's my scene is not clearly 500 meter big. So here I will change it and put 50. And immediately you see the quality of the shadow are much better. Okay, so you see if I don't use 50, that if I'm sure I will do a close-up, for example, I have a shot, everything is here, so I can even go to 10 and quality will be even better. Okay, so if you put a too small distance, it will not calculate the shadow, for example, at 10 meter. So here you see you don't calculate anymore the shadow at this distance. So here be sure that your full scene, actually 30 meters should be enough, is included in this distance, 30 meters. So the next thing that I want to do, I will go to the sun, and if I go to the shape of the sun, we have the angular diameter. So that this is the size of the sun. Okay, so the sun is very far, so it looks like a very small point in the space from here. So what I can do, I can reduce this size, and you will see if I put 0, my shadows will be super sharp. Okay, too sharp, clearly. It must be a little bit blurred. So here you can adjust this value. If I put 0.1, you will see, or if I adjust that, you will see progressively the shadow will be a bit more blurred. Of course, we should have sharp shadow when the object is very close, and with the distance, progressively, the shadow will be more blurred. So that it depends of what you want to do. Perhaps in this case, I will use a distance of 0.3. Okay? There are other parameters to increase the quality of the shadows. There is perhaps one. I'm going to check project settings. Here, what I will do in project setting, I go to quality and I will be sure I use high. Okay, if you use medium, you will not have this quality of shadow, and actually this angular diameter will not work. Okay, so here we have something not too bad. My direct lighting is is not bad, but what I will see here, there are some, you see light here at the corner of the room, here also. Very often this is here at the intersection of two walls, or the walls and the floor, so that we call it light bleeding. So this light bleeding is not, of course, acceptable. You see here from the ceiling. So it's like the light, sorry, cross this object. So that it's a classic that we had years ago in software like Maya, but now all the software like Maya don't have this problem anymore, but we have the problem in the real-time software. So what's happening is, to do real time, the software is not accurate enough when it calculates the shadows, and some light can cross like that the object. So we call it light bleeding. So how to resolve this problem? It's a very simple and manual work. So you see here, I have this light bleeding here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new object. So here I will create a plane. So normally you should have this problem in almost all your indoor lighting. So I will create this plane. I will move it outside. So I will rename it plane. Okay. I will move it outside. I will turn it. Okay. And what I will do, this plane, I will move it here, and I will make him create a shadow. Okay. So this plane will allow the light to enter only from the window, but it will create a shadow on the wall here. So if I check now inside, okay, I don't have the light bleeding here anymore. I have some light bleeding here and here. So in this case, I need to create another plane that I will adjust and put it here on top of the window. Okay, so of course I have to be sure it doesn't cover the window. And here you see I don't have this light bleeding anymore. So that it's a work that we must do all the time. But for this case, I prepared it already, so I will remove these two planes. And here I have this light bleeding that should be adapted to this scene. Yeah, perhaps not to this sun. So here you see my sun was a bit different. So I will perhaps just adjust the sun here. Yeah, and now it's okay. So now I don't have any light bleeding. Okay, so that it doesn't take too much time. What you can see here, it's this plane, light bleeding plane. They are double-sided. Okay, the shader is double-sided. So if I go to plane, here the shader double-sided. So the problem is when I am inside, I see these planes. You see this plane here, it's covering the background. So what I can do, I will select all the planes, and here in the lighting cast shadow, I will change on, and I will just put shadow only. So this object will not be displayed, but it will create the shadows. Okay, so here you see the shadows are created, and I don't have this object present anymore. Okay, So here we have our direct lighting. Not too bad. You see it's a bit bluish, but that it will be resolved later. Perhaps not in this video, actually. Shadow quality are good. So now I'm ready to create my global illumination. So we could have a real-time global illumination, but no way to get good quality. We cannot use that. It will never be as good as baked lighting. So usually when you do outdoor, you probably don't need to bake the light. But when you do indoor, Unity or Unreal, if you want really a good quality, you need to bake it. So that it's a very classic technique of video game. So how to do it? First, I must check my sun, and I will go to the general here, and you see, so it's a directional light. The mode is real time, so it means it will calculate everything in real time. What it means that if I turn that the sun, of course, in real time, it will recalculate the shadow. But it can also recalculate the global illumination in real time. But as I said, it's not good, not good enough. Because in this video, I really try to reach high quality of image. So what we could do, it's baked. So here we will bake the light. But when I decide to bake the light, when it's baked, when I will move the sun, turn the sun, or move an object, the light will not change. So what I will do, I will use mixed. So the shadow will be calculated in real time, the direct lighting in real time, and the indirect lighting will be baked. Okay, so that's all for the light. So all the light by default are real time. If you want to bake all your light, you have to select them one by one and go to mixed. Okay. Um, if your scene has nothing moving, no object moving, no lighting moving, everything is 100% static, of course you can use baked, okay? But here the goal is to do animation or video game. So mixed. The other point is mixed means it will use a global illumination, so the light will bounce on the object. But by default, none of the object will bounce the light. Why? It's because Unity want to optimize your scene, and it will calculate it only on the object that you want. So here, what I will do, I will select my group where I have all my geometries. This is this attic room, and I will go here in the option and click on contribute global illumination. So it means that all the objects inside this group will bounce the light. And here I will say yes, change the children. So we have to be careful with that, because when you have many objects like in this scene, it could take a lot of time, or it could take a lot of memory. So you have to be careful. Me, here I have a very powerful PC, and the geometry are well optimized, so I will just try to create a global illumination on all the objects. But we will see in other video, for the small object, usually we will not do it. We'll do it only for the big object. So now all the objects will bounce the light sent by this mixed light. The next point is I need to go to lighting. If you don't have this lighting tab, so I will close it, you go to window and rendering lighting, and usually everybody put it here. So here, this is my lighting settings. This is where I will adjust my global illumination. First, I need to create these settings. Okay, you see this is empty, non-lighting settings asset. So this setting will be an asset. So here I will click on new. It creates this new lighting settings. It's here, it's in the current folder where I am. So you could have a special folder with all your lighting settings. And what I can do, I can rename it. So I will call it perhaps lighting settings attic. Okay, so these settings, if you're happy with it, why not you can reuse it, okay, on another scene. So now that I have these lighting settings, I can change some parameter. And in this video, I will do just the minimum. It's an introduction to global illumination. So the very important thing, light mapper, I will change to GPU. So here this is what will calculate your global illumination. Is it your CPU or your GPU? If you have a very good graphic card, use a GPU. Actually, in every case, you go to GPU. If your PC has a too bad graphic card, it will automatically switch back to CPU. Okay, you see my PC, it's a GeForce RTX 4080, so this one is a good one, and it will render it very fast. The GPU will be, in some case, 100 times faster than the CPU, so be very careful with that. Pick GPU. The rest of the parameter, we will not change it for today. This video is just the first step for indoor. But if you change it, you will just increase the quality of your rendering, of your global illumination. So now I will go to GPU baking profile. And here, depending on the computer that you have, you will pick what you want. So me, I have a good PC, so I will put highest performance. If you don't have a good PC, you will go more here. Automatic, be careful. Every time you change something in your scene, it will recalculate the global illumination. So it's okay if you have just a few objects, but in my case, I will never use it. So here I will use highest performance and click on generate. It will ask me to save the scene, so I will call it Attic GI, perhaps version 1, because later I will improve this global illumination. And now it will calculate the lighting. So it should tell you in the bottom here what is he doing, and he will first show you an estimation of the time that he need to do it. This estimation, it's the first time I use Unity 6. Apparently it's like 50% or 100% faster than the previous Unity. So this estimation should give you, for a scene like that, between 3 minutes to 20 minutes or even more. Okay, so he finished the global illumination. You can see immediately a big difference. You can see something pretty nice actually, and with a lot of ambient occlusion. You can also see some objects are a bit messy, but that we will see later in another video how to clean that. So this is my beauty path, but I have no texture. So what we do usually when we finish the global illumination, we will check it. To check it, I will go here in this kind of bug debugger system, and I will click on baked light map. And here what you can see, this is only the global illumination. Here we cannot see the direct lighting. And of course you will see that in the area near the window, this is extremely bright, okay? And normally here in the back, it should be much darker. Why this thing is very important, this backlight map. So it allows us to check if the global illumination is correct. And here in this case, we will see on purpose, I let all these objects, and some are totally black, like this one. So it's not normal. So what's happening is the UVs of this object are not correct. So you should not see any very black object like that. So here, every time, or in 95% of the case, it's because your UVs are not correct. So there is no UV, or there are overlapping of UV. So for example, this object, the problem is perhaps there is an overlapping of the UVs, and the lighting that we see should be the lighting on of the other side of this frame, okay? Not the outside, but the inside of the frame, okay? So this is why this thing is super important. But if I go back here, even if some objects are black, we have already a very nice result. And the good point is here I can move in real time in this scene. So that's all for this first introduction to indoor lighting. Thank you.